today, I think the President has set out the scene for the last day and a half for why we were here. And as the President said, there was a statement at the end which summarized the discussions, the points of discussion. Some of those points that were discussed in the deliberations go to the core of the mandate of the African Leadership Forum as it coincides with the mandate of the AFCFTA. One of those issues is unlocking the potential of trade in agricultural products. Some of the challenges, barriers that were identified include trade finance, a big challenge that continues to constrain our farmers from being able to, particularly smallholder farmers, from being able to export their products across borders and across regions of the African continent. And so this is a matter that was discussed at length. Fortunately, we had in the discussions with financial institutions, with banks, and of course they provided their points of view. And so that was a rich discussion which we will take forward. One of the concrete outcomes of that discussion is to convene our development finance institutions, Afreximbank, AFDB, as well as Africa Finance Corporations and any other development finance institutions, to mobilize them to ensure that trade finance, particularly for agricultural trade, that it is made available at a much more affordable rates. So the cost of money was discussed at length, and we hope that as an action plan, that the gathering with our development finance institutions will yield results. The second important challenge that was identified is on the tariffs. And of course, as you may be aware, one of the objectives of the AFCFTA is to eliminate tariff barriers amongst the state parties of the AFCFTA, to the extent that those tariff barriers continue to inhibit trade in agricultural products in Africa. That is a matter that is on the agenda of ministers of trade. They have a timeline. Perhaps the timeline will have to be shortened, given the geopolitical context that we are in, the food insecurity crisis that we are in. The third point that was discussed also at length is food security and the cost of imports of food in Africa. Everybody observed that Africa is a net food importer, which should not be the case, given the resources that we have, given the fact that 60% of the world's arable land is in Africa. There is no reason why Africa should be a net food 60%. Unutilized. Thank you, President. 60% of unutilized. So there's no reason why Africa should continue to be a net food importer. And so we have to work hard to tackle this challenge of importation of food. It creates opportunities. Import substitution of foods will create opportunities, job opportunities in Africa, innovation, and of course deploying technological tools that will enable the trade in agricultural products to take off. The other important point that was discussed is integration of smallholder farmers into a continental or a regional value chain. This is very, very important from an inclusivity point of view. All of us have a shared desire to see smallholder farmers benefiting from this market of 1.3, 1.4 billion people. Smallholder farmers can contribute to trade in Africa. We've seen it in other parts of the world. We've seen it in regions, individual regions of Africa, and now our ambition is to make sure that we have a model of inclusivity of smallholder farmers who the AfCFTA must position to benefit from this trade agreement. And so these are some of the points of discussions that took place over the last day and a half. As much as there were observations of challenges, I think, as His Excellency the President said, there was also recognition that there's been some progress. Some progress has been achieved. I think President Obasanjo put it very well yesterday when he said that we are not yet quite there. We are not yet there, but we've started the journey. And I think that's an important point to bear in mind as we gear ourselves up to tackle these challenges, which will remain with us for some time. But I think the tools are there. The various agricultural policies, continental agricultural policies, CAADP, Maputo, those policies were there. Now we have to complement those policies with a legal instrument to enable the trade to happen at an accelerated pace. So, President, thank you very much again to you and what was the Institute.